What's going on, y'all? Girl, listen, let me tell y'all first of all, it is cold as heck up in here, okay? I don't know what's going on with the weather. Listen, I had to turn my heat off a few days ago. Then I had to turn it on a little bit after that because I thought it was going to be, warm and all that stuff. It got real cold up in here. And then I turned it back off because it got warm. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, it's cold today. But then tomorrow and for the rest of the week, whatever, it's supposed to be like 60, 70 degrees. So we just going to put a hoodie on and we just going to deal with it for now. But anyway, that is not why we here. Girl, let's get into it, okay? Listen, I was looking for something for Movie Corner. Girl, I look like a nigga. Okay, I need some earrings. I gotta go buy me some studs. But anyway, I was looking for something for Movie Corner, right? And I had forgot. I'm telling y'all. Listen, this is what I need to happen. I need these streaming shows to give black shows especially a lot more recognition, and I need them to do a lot more promo because I've seen here and there like early on that the scare was coming back, that was coming, okay? But I hadn't really seen anything, and I just so happened to stumble on something. Somebody was tweeting about it on Twitter the other day, and I was like, oh my goodness, the 25th was yesterday. So let me go ahead and look at it. Baby, I didn't realize that it was on Amazon Prime already until like probably late last night. I stayed up last night, early this morning, to watch the first 3 episodes. Baby, the way that I was feeling, I don't know, I had got a little energy. I don't know where I got the energy from. I was not tired. I had said, Ashley, cut this off. Cut this off and go to bed, okay? You cannot do this. Mind you, I'm sitting up in here in the dark watching this. I said, girl, what is your problem? Listen, I watched 3 episodes last night. I think the last one was over around 2 something in the morning. I woke up, did a little bit of cleaning, and then I came here and sat and watched the other 5 episodes, because it was like 8 episodes altogether. Baby, it's a quick watch. Once you turn it on, it just goes like that because the storyline and everything the pace is going great, okay? Let me just tell you this. For those that didn't see the first season, I'm going to be real with y'all. I remember when this first came out, and I probably forgot to say exactly what the name of this, but if you see the title, it's called Them, okay? And I remember the big controversy about the first season that came out was, the trailer itself, because it was just like, we was in that era, which we kind of still are, but we was literally heavy in that era of, girl, I don't want to see nothing else about no trauma, black trauma. You doing a horror thing about black trauma. Our life is already a horror film and all of this stuff. We don't want to do that, okay? And then I think Lena Waithe had something to do with it, so of course people was going in on that. I don't even know if she really was like truly in, a part of it, or she was just promoting it, or she just had her name on it or whatever. But I do know it's Lil Marvin production and all that stuff. So I did go in and I watched the first season, and I believe I reviewed the first season, and to be honest, the first season wasn't really that bad, but it was a lot. It was a lot. Baby, I will never forget that episode when they put that baby up in that bag and I said, oh my God, what are you doing? That was a lot for me. Okay. And the song that was being sang, I don't know if it was Ring Around the Posy or whatever. I don't know. Beat a cat in the bag or something. I don't know what it was. I just know either a baby or a cat was put up in the bag and they was just beating it or whatever, just ringing it. And I said, oh my goodness. Put a warning on here because I just really was not ready. Okay. I was not ready for that. And it was just so heavily racially, racism, prejudice, all of that stuff. It was just so heavy in that first season, right? And I get it. This is a history, but it was just like overkill for me and for a lot of people, okay? Basically, you get this family, this black family that, the father gets this really, really good job. And this is back in the day where segregation was very heavy. I think it was either the 50s or the early 60s, and this was before, I don't know if it was before immigration happened or right before. Either way, the family, because the daddy got a good job, a higher paying job, so he was able to buy a house in this predominantly white neighborhood, right? And so the people on the block, headed by this one woman, okay, Anna Paquin, I think that was her that was in it. Either way, let me see. Well, I'll go back. Yeah, and they was doing any and everything to try to get them out that off the block, right? Just making their life a living hell, just being outwardly racist, and outwardly racist, subtly racist, all of that. They was just being all of that, right? And I was like, okay, if I didn't have to see another season of this, I would be fine. I thought it was going to be just a limited series. I did not know. Okay. But baby, when they put that promo up saying that, listen, we got them, season 2, The Scare. I said, girl, don't nobody want to see this. And then I sent the preview, the trailer. And I said, oh. Because Ashley loves a good horror. And I get it. The first season was supposed to be a horror show. It was a horror show with history in it. Like, for real, for real. And I just feel like it was very heavy-handed. It was just a little bit too much, okay? It was a little bit too much. I couldn't really handle it because I couldn't really be... I don't know if they was trying to scare us with history or whatever, but it was just a lot. It was a lot. This one was on... I sent the preview, and then I seen that Luke James was in it, seen that Pam Grier, the original Foxy Brown, okay, Miss Coffee, she was in it. The girl that played the mama in the first one was coming back. I said, oh, so is the daddy coming back? Girl, now. And I said, well, how is this going to happen? What is going on? So I'm thinking, given that, we seeing different people in this season, I'm like, so... this is not a continuation of the first season. I'm thinking that it's like this series is going to be like an anthology, so each season is different, you know what I'm saying? And it has different people in it. It's somewhat like that, and that's what I was thinking. But by the time you get to the 8th episode, you're like, oh, it's not necessarily an anthology. It ties all the way back into the first season. And I said, girl, you had me, okay? I said, all right, sometimes you got to go out on a limb and you got to give things a chance. And I'm good. I love a good horror movie, and I love a good horror series. But let me just tell you this. Nothing really scares me these days, right? When we talk about movies, talk about TV shows and all that stuff. Oh, it's supposed to be scary and all that stuff. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You may have a jump scare here and there, but it's really nothing. Baby, this series kind of got to me. It kind of got to me. I said, oh my God, I did that like a few times. You know what I'm saying? I'm rewinding, like, did I just see what I saw? Did I hear what I heard? I said, oh, wow. And let me tell you this before we truly get up into it, because I'm not going to go scene by scene, because it was 8 episodes, but I'm just going to go about if you haven't seen it, you don't want to see no spoilers, it's your time to click off, okay? Because I'm about to spoil a whole bunch of stuff. Y'all know how I do. I'm giving you a chance. All right. But listen, before we get into it, girlfriends and guy friends, listen. Luke motherfucking James. Baby, at this point, I don't even know if Luke James make music anymore. I don't even know if music is in his heart anymore, because the acting bug has taken over. And when I say it has taken over and that man has succeeded. Ow! I was like, whoa. I knew Luke James had it in him to do a little bit of acting. We seen him on The Chi, whatever. We seen him in the little scene on Insecure and all that stuff. And he's been good. But baby, when I tell you this man was going for the Oscars, and this ain't even a movie, this is a TV series. I said, this show got to get nominated for something. He has to get nominated for something, because he was acting his ass off. When I looked at him, even though he looked like Luke James, it wasn't Luke James. He literally became the character. And I was a little scared of him. I said, oh, this man is off the chain. Something is wrong with him. But let's just get up into it, right? So basically, when the movie, or I should say the TV show, comes on, you have Detective Don Reeves. It is during the time of the Rodney King beating, 1991. All this took place within like a couple of months, or probably within a month. Okay, 1991. We kept seeing images and videos and things talking about, Rodney King getting beat. You see the footage of it all the time. And if y'all don't know, this is around the time, well, when that happened, this when LA went right back up in flames, okay? Because after that whole jury came down and the verdict and saying that them cops, even though it was visibly on the camera saying and showing that that man did not do anything to deserve what they did to him, and they found him not guilty. They found him not guilty, and then the city just erupted, okay? And so, that was, I think, in 92, the LA riots and all that stuff. That was the time. That was interesting, and it just really brought into play the way that black people and minority people have been feeling about the police, especially in California and LA, the LAPD. Bringing up how black people are unfairly, or I should say minority, but mostly black, are unfairly targeted, and they just don't give a damn, right? And I was like, oh no, this one of those type of things. And I said, let me buckle up, and I buckled up. But see, we have Dawn, who is a detective on the LAPD, right? And she get called to a crime scene where it's a foster home and the foster mother is deceased, okay? The call was called in by the 16-year-old foster child that she had there. And there was a few other kids there, his little sister and all that stuff. And when they went into the house, baby, I said, now, you gotta be really pissed off with somebody to do this to them. I said, what in the spirit realm is going on? Because the way that they had that lady crumpled up, balled up, twisted up, contorted up underneath the sink, okay, neck snapped back and her eyes open and her mouth open and all that stuff. I said, oh my God, ain't no human did that. I said, what are we dealing with? What spirit is we dealing with? It was just really confusing, right? And so I was like, I was hooked right then. I said, damn, I ain't never seen nobody body like that. And so you see Detective Reeves, right? Dawn. She's going around the house and she's one of those people, and I don't know if it's just because that's just how she is, very meticulous and very trying to get all of the details and do things so that, people won't say that you messed up, whatever. I don't know if that was just in her or if that was in her in conjunction with the fact that you are in 1991. You're now on the police force, and you had affirmative action back then. You got to prove that you wasn't an affirmative action hire. You got to prove that you were supposed to be there. Plus, you're a woman, not only a woman, but a black woman. So, of course, you're trying to make it show that, listen, I'm supposed to be here. So, I'm going to do everything right and get it done the way that it needs to be done. I'm going to be very meticulous about it. I'm going to make sure this done right. This is done right. She comes in with her recorder. She's going around the house. She's looking at the glass that's broken. She's looking at the star clock on the wall, and it stopped at 3:16. Then you see there was the closet that had a whole bunch of baby dolls in there and dirty diapers. I said, dirty goddamn diapers. What in the bitch of a hoarder is going on? Girl, she opened up that door and gagged. I said, close it back up. Close it back up, because I could smell it too. Close it back up. And then it was like this square space on the rug, right? And she was like, something used to be here, but we don't know what it was. Okay, so we leave that, and then we get to her trying to work this case, right? She wants to work this case the way that she needs to work this case. For some reason, she feels called to it. And I feel like at the time, what I was thinking it was because they are literally in the midst of this Rodney King situation and already see how black folks and the minorities are acting towards the cops and how they're vice versa, right? Tensions are high at this point. And so she said she wanted the case, right? And so her boss, who didn't really want her to be on the case by herself, he was like, yeah, you'll be on the case, okay, but you're gonna get on the case with Detective McKinney. That motherfucker, goddamn, like when I tell you, the he just pissed me off so bad when I first seen him. And then she was talking about how, girl, I don't want to be on the case with him because he don't know how to do his job. Like, the way that he do his job is not the way that, she do it. He the type of person that'll just go ahead and go the simple way out. Don't try to truly investigate any deeper, whatever. And probably make up some stuff. She ain't got time for that. She want to go thorough. He don't want to do that. And so, not only do she has to work with him, her boss winds up making McKinney the lead detective. Okay, so she got to follow his lead, and they wind up questioning the guy, not the guy, but the boy, the 16-year-old boy, and we're gonna keep on doing that. And I love the fact that they kept on pointing it out and having her character, because this was a black boy, even though he was a teenager, 16 years old, he is not a man. Okay, and I think at one point, they kept on calling him that, and she had to correct and say, no, this is still a child. Okay, this is still a boy. And I'm sitting here like, how are you trying to accuse this boy of doing that to that woman when that don't even look humanly possible? If you saw how she was in there, it just wasn't humanly possible, right? And I'm just like, it just was pissing me off because instantly McKinney just started saying, because he's this big dude, you know what I'm saying? He look like he powerful enough. He's a big man and all this stuff. He just kept on characterizing him by his height and his body weight. And if you look at him, he didn't even look that big the way that he was trying to exaggerate it. And then gonna have the nerve to ask him, you play football? I used to play football. You look like you strapping enough to do something like that. And he instantly wanted to make it that the boy did it. And if she had not been on the case, that boy would have been in prison for something that he did not do. Okay. And so, she winds up saying, do you want your lawyer to come in? Because he was just feeling, he was going through the motions himself. He hearing things and the tapping and the cracking of the knuckles that the other detective was doing was getting to him. And Dawn can sense that, mind you, because Dawn also has a child herself. She has a son, probably around the same age, right? And so his name was Kyle. We'll get on that in a second. Because when I found out who the baby daddy was, I said, what? Lena Waithe's still on this, because we know that this person always worked with Lena. He was on the shot too. Okay. I was like, all right. We heard some things about you, boo boo. Hey Tiana. But moving on from that, she goes home. We find out, where her mom's at. Her mom is played by Pam Grier, right? I think her name was Athena, right? I said, all right, Miss Pam Grier, it's been a minute since I seen you on TV, but this was good. She did a good job. Everybody did a good job in this, okay? For the most part. Basically, the mama works at this shop, okay? And she was having issues. Well, they got a shipment coming in, okay? And it was a box of Raggedy Ann dolls, either Raggedy Ann or Raggedy Andy, right? And once she saw it, she just had this visceral reaction to it, and she closed that shit up, and she said, bitch, I ain't finna sell this. Okay, we're not gonna do that. She also was having issues with her hands. Her daughter was looking out for her hands and all that stuff. It was also her birthday, So, she got all of that going on. I'm talking about the daughter. Also, the way that the daughter became a cop is she was trying to follow into her father's footsteps. Her father passed away when she was young. I think he had a heart attack, whatever. He had heart issues, right? So he was taking pills and medication for it. And, he couldn't get to his pills in time. And unfortunately, he passed away, right? Okay. And so, we get that little backstory. And I'm like, girl, do mama got arthritis? Is it rheumatoid? Okay, which one is it? Like, what's going on? Because them hands was shaking. I said, did she get a little Parkinson? Like, what's going on? Them hands was shaking a little bit. And I said, all right, so we're going to fast to the forward to the next murder. Like, they trying to look into the case. And they hear about another situation that happens, but it's not even on their beat. Okay, it's like on the different side, I think like the south side or something or whatever. And they wind up going over there because she's trying to see if it's similar, if they got any connection. What they did find was a woman that was wrapped up in a mattress. Okay, it was a black woman wrapped up in a mattress, and you see a whole bunch of black people around, and they pissed off, and the cops telling them, the detectives on the scene telling them, ain't nobody saying nothing because they ain't trying to speak to the cops no way, right? So they do that, right? And they looked at her when they see Dawn show. They was like, "Oh sis, so you a pig too?" I said, "Goddamn." I just would like to know how it felt, honestly, back then when all of this Rodney King and the LA riot stuff went down. I just want to know from somebody who was black and who was a cop, what went down and what was their experience like within the police department, from the people that were not the civilians and your family. How did they feel, right? And we saw how it was affecting her son. He looked like he had OCD. I think he had OCD because at one point he comes into his room and everything was just in a certain order. And then another time we see him come into the room and he had to put things in a certain order. He was doing a little tap, 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 and it's always in the same succession, right? He was using marijuana to like calm it down, okay? And at one point he was under the bleachers with this one girl, and they was talking about the whole Rodney King thing and, her disdain for the cops because she has also experienced issues with the cops. She had her brother or her cousin, whoever, who, was attacked by the cops for no reason. And he could not relate to that because he never got attacked or got unjustly profiled because he was black by the cops, because his mother is a cop. And so the way that she's talking so disparagingly and disgustingly about the police, he's not going to say that, Mom, I'm a cop, so no, I ain't never been through that. He kind of lied and said, yeah, I had my issues and all that, and then he just left. That's just what it was, right? But then back to the mom, girl, they found that body, and then she looking out into the crowd, and she see this one guy. She see this one guy, Marvin, that we later found out what his name was, and he did look like he was doing something. He had this look. It was giving Smile. Have y'all seen the movie Smile yet? The way them people just... he was standing up there all evil-like and with the smile on his face, and it looked like he was guilty. And I said, now, you gonna kill somebody and you gonna just stand there on the scene like that? Girl, but he really wasn't. It was like she was seeing things, because when we really see him, he had a look of fear on his face. And he was like, I'm scared. He's coming. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. Okay? And so he started running. She started chasing after him because she thinks that he's a suspect because he looks suspicious to her. I said, way to profile some shit, mama. Huh? Girl chased him all throughout the projects. At one point, going through people's houses and stuff. I said, I know we in the projects, but damn, y'all don't lock y'all doors. I said, now how come them doors was able to open up? I said, we don't do this. We lock doors around here, especially in the projects. What are you talking about? But, at one point, he had got away. They was looking for him. She was looking for him, right? And then it was like this couple came out. It was like, what the fuck you doing here, you pig? You pig. We ain't telling you nothing. Girl, they knocked her ass down them steps. I said, bitch, is she dead? No, the girl got back up and got right back to it. Okay, found old boy. He was running back to his apartment to get his child, right? Get his child. And, he kept on saying he was scared. He was scared of somebody. He said, he's coming. He's going to try to kill me. Something like that, right? Next thing you know, she's trying to, talk him down, trying to get an understanding of what's going on and what's happening and who he's talking about. Then you got McKinney coming up in there. Get out on the floor. Get out on the floor. I said, God damn, nigga. Like, you just come bum rushing in and you don't even know what's really going on. Like, she got the situation literally under control and you just escalated it up for no reason. Kicking him, beating him up in the room or whatever. She tried to tell him, don't shoot. He got a kid. Baby, they tried to make it seem like he was a drug dealer and all that stuff. Couldn't find no drugs up in there. And, they wind up letting him go and all that. But then what happens at one point, he had like lights, he had the windows covered, he had the mirrors covered. Dude took the curtains and all that stuff off, and he was like, no, 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 don't do that, don't do that. I said, what's that? Now, you know, they say, y'all be seeing a movie and stuff like the spirits of shit be coming through the mirrors. Baby, do I got a lot of mirrors up in here? Baby, the only mirrors I got up in here is the ones that came with this apartment. Okay, and them was the ones in the bedroom. Baby, I don't play those games, but let me stop playing. That's how they be saying up in the you know, in these movies or whatever. Them spirits come through the mirrors and through the windows and shit. I ain't got time for that. Y'all remember that movie Post? I gotta watch that. It was so dumb, but it was decent. So he go back up in there. Next time we see Marvin, he back up in his apartment. Marvin up there cooking that stuff up. He had a secret compartment in his house where he did have some little cocaine up in there, and he was finna cook that crack on the stove. I said, nigga, man, you got your baby up there, and at one point, you know, he heard the baby like laughing with somebody. So he like, what the fuck? Because he was hearing some things, and so he go up in there, and he don't see nobody. But then he do, but we don't see him. And it was like different instances where you would see somebody, like a shadow figure of somebody standing, their silhouette standing up in the hallway. But then when you look back, they're not there. You know what I'm saying? I said, what is this, mama? What is going on? Baby. Next thing you know, we hear the, no, don't do it. I said, what? Girl, they was just cracking bones like it ain't nothing. I said, child, after watching this, I'm scared to crack my knuckles, okay? Because I said, what? Why is he folding these people up and putting them, whoever this thing was, I said, why they folding them up and putting them in tight spaces? I was really confused at that point. I said, contortionists all up in this piece and then stuffing them up in like a little box or something. Marvin got folded up like a collapsible chair. Folded him up like a goddamn shirt and some jeans. I said, damn it, what is happening? But so then we found out that he dead. She had to talk to the mama, trying to figure out what was going on with that. And mind you, the only reason what made him go back there, because at one point it would sound like the police was coming, but the police really wasn't there. See? And so then that's murder number 2. Okay. Then the other case that we get is from this Asian couple. Well, this Asian family. The son was concerned because the police was down there and they was trying to investigate, but really wasn't investigating or whatever. And the boy kept on saying, and when she got into it, because she, you know, got a hold of the case, she was investigating it a little bit more because she's trying to make a pattern, right? Basically, the boy's twin sisters wound up in the same thing, the same way. They wind up all of a sudden becoming really, really weird, and they both were saying how they could see this man with the red hair, right? And every time, like, they even had a recording of it, and it was like, you see him over there with the red hair? I see him. Baby, we looking at the recording. I said, all I see is the car. All I see is a car. Who are you talking about? Okay? I said, y'all seeing some things that I don't see, and I'm glad that I don't see it, because I don't want that coming up in here or whatever, you know? And so, wound up seeing how they died. Baby, they crooked them up and put them in a little box in the, not a box, but the family owned a store. And it was like this counter, a glass counter, like where they put the jewelry and stuff at. That's what it looked like. And stuff on display. But it wasn't a jewelry store. It was like probably a little convenience store. Baby, they had them up in there face to face, but all twisted up. I said, oh, why they do that? And that was like one of the youngest victims at that point, right? And I said, oh my goodness, this kind of messed up. Well, it is messed up. I said, what is the connection? You got a foster mother who, you know, was a bad foster mother. She was a little psychotic or whatever, as they say, because she was scared of some. You got this drug dealer, okay. Then you got these Asian twins, and it's like, now what did they do? What was their offense? At first, I'm thinking that the person is, or whatever is doing this, it's like picking out people who deserve to be picked off. But then when it got to that part with the kids, the twin girls, I said, No, I don't think they did nothing in their life just yet to deserve to die like that. So what is going on? Girl, we move on. And McKinney and Don, like, it was just pissing me off, their repertoire and everything, because he was just being an asshole throughout the whole thing and trying to make it difficult for her, you know. And it was pissing me off. And at one point, he got drunk as hell, came to the office while she was trying to go through, the videotapes that the twin girls was, recorded. And he came up in there trying to get up on her, but then he kind of flipped on her. Like, you gotta show the reason why you was hired and all this stuff and make good and blah, blah, blah. It got real racist, okay? And sexist as hell. And I said I was scared for her. He was like, you gonna shoot me, you gonna do something. I was scared as hell for her at that point, because she is a woman and she's in that I don't care if she's a police, she's still a woman, and she was in that office by herself trying to do her job that he wasn't doing. And he comes in there drunk as hell. Or he probably even wasn't that drunk, and because she basically said, get the fuck up out my face, we ain't got shit to talk about. We ain't finna start no relationship over again because we ain't never had no relationship and she don't like him like that. Or at all. Girl, next thing you know, he do leave out. We see her son walking down the street from school and he pulls up on him. I said, oh my goodness. I said, now McKinney, you need your ass whipped. Because what does he do? He does an intimidating thing, right? He pulls the boy over. You could tell that he's scared because he ain't ever been confronted by no cops. All right. Besides his mama. And then once he pulled the car over or have him get out, stop walking, he wants to look into his bag and everything. And he do find the weed. He gets to put him in the backseat of the car, talking all this stuff or whatever. The boy is so scared. He playing and nimble with the car, then put a hole up in the seat. Girl, I was just like, oh my goodness. And then I said, where are you taking him? Dropped him off at the house. I'm gonna tell his mama, to be careful or some shit like that. I said, oh my God, why would you do something like that? Baby, once she found out, it was on and popping, okay? I said, I know that's right. I said, bitch, go up there and you gotta take, you better fucking regulate. You better regulate. You know what I'm saying? Warren G said you gotta regulate, okay? Nate Dogg, we in LA up in this piece. I said, I said, where the homies at? Where the homies at? I said, girl, you ain't got no cousins? You ain't got no cousins that ain't afraid to go to jail? What? You'll get them out. You the cops. I said, oh my goodness. But baby, when she found out, she started, trying to check his whereabouts, because now she's on the case by herself. And then she gets this other detective, Diaz, to help her, right? And they're putting things together, saying that, it's a possibility. She comes to the conclusion that, they keep on saying, everybody keeps saying that it was somebody that has a red hair, that was tall, kind of built a little bit big, and they had red hair. It was a man, right? McKinney kind of fits that description, okay? Whether you want to call his hair ginger or strawberry blonde or whatever, it was a little reddish or a little brownish, whichever way you want to look at it. And so, given how the things was happening, it came to the conclusion that it's a possibility that a cop could have did it. So of course he's the main suspect in their minds, or at least her mind. And now that she done found out about him, doing what he did to her son, baby, she already put him at the front run. So she looking out. She wound up going to this car dealership and talking to this lady and talking about how her husband is a police officer. Couldn't find out it was his wife. It was his wife. I said, what? Come to find out he has a wife and kids? You mean to tell me somebody procreated with that asshole? Girl, yes. I said, oh, okay. And then she did a little thing where she was following him. Followed him to this house where it was a bunch of white guys. And when I say, it just gave like KKK convention without the hoods, okay? It gave, Aryan Brotherhood tees. It gave all of that. Girl, this hoodie is just, it's bothering me. Ooh, there it is. Because my ponytail it be pulling it up when I move. But anyway, I was just like, girl, you the only black up in there, black woman at that. I need you to leave, okay? They up there shooting guns, drinking beer, probably doing some other stuff. Baby, I was looking to see some salacious stuff happen. I said at one point, I was looking up in the mirror. I said, is some two dudes riding each other? No, they wasn't. They weren't. I would like to have that been. I would have been like, so you mean to tell me you acting so tough at work and you out here doing this? Okay, I get it now, but no, that ain't what was going on. It just felt like a hate group. It really felt like a hate group. That was that he was at. And she wound up getting caught by him. And of course she got spooked out and he was like, so you followed me out here? Yeah, because I talked you was talking to my son. My son told me that you was talking to him and you know she was scared as shit. And he said, you gonna leave? And you ain't gonna never come back. And you ain't never gonna say nothing about this, right? She get up in that car, and it was just the way that all of them motherfuckers was following her to the car. And it gave Remy, and I don't even know why I didn't put this together until just now. The way all of them came walking, you know, trying to intimidate her as she was walking back to the car, speed walking, and making sure that she left. It was just like in season 1 when the family was on the block and all of the people came around in that climax at the end. Oh my God, it was giving very much that. I just put that together. And so, you know, you got that going on, right? And you got the issue with Kyle, you know, he misses daddy. Like, she was married and come to find out she was married to Iman Shumpert, Teyana Taylor, soon to be ex-husband. I said, Iman just look, he cool looking. He just look cool in everything that he do. But, you know, I gotta put him in timeout because the stuff that he doing in this divorce is just making me look at him a different way. Like, sir, this is what we're about. This is what we're gonna do. Okay. But, you know, he like, I don't know if he was like a musician and he was on tour. And so their wedding didn't, or their marriage didn't work out or whatever. So, you know, he was out there just to see his son and to do some other stuff or whatever. But they had a little moment. The son clearly misses him. The grandmother, we see instances of her, but when we see her, it's always like something is following her, something like she got this secret, she's looking in a box, and we hear this voice that was saying, what's in the box? Show her what's in the box. Baby, it was one time when the Don, she was listening to her recorded back from what happened up in the foster home and what she recorded, and she was hearing some things in the background. And I said, when I first heard it, I said, bitch, is that somebody talking in the background that ain't supposed to be talking in the background? Now, I done looked at The Conjuring. I done looked at Insidious. I done looked at all of this stuff. Now, what the fuck is that? I know that ain't some girl. She kept on rewinding. Mind you, she got up underneath that cabinet too. I said, she one of those type of people that try to, you know, put herself in the victim's shoes and try to reenact stuff. Baby, once she did that and it kept on rewinding, she was trying to hear what was said, right? She was like, bitch, I know I'm not hearing something. I said, bitch, yes you are. Girl, all of a sudden, I seen, this was the part where really jumped me right at the beginning. All of a sudden, that voice came in clear, deep as hell. Are you scared? I said, oh no. Wait a minute. Now, that was not what was being said. It was some gibberish, okay? Now, you don't come through with a clear voice like that, all loud and deep and scary. Like, I said, what the fuck am I watching? I said, whoo, do I really want to finish this? That's when I cut it off. And I watched the rest today. I said, Ash, you got to go to bed. You don't want to have this on your mind like this. But, you know, you get all of that going on. And then at one point, we find another victim where we hear about this boy who is, you know, the cops had to be called out there because they was doing the exorcism on him, right? His name was Benito, okay? He was there with his grandmama. And so she wound up going out there with Diaz trying to get some information. Benito kept on seeing the same type of person, a guy with the red hair, right? I said, now who the fuck is this nigga? Who the hell is this guy? Why is it that these kids and these other people is the only ones that can see him? Like, what's going on? I want to see him too. Okay. And so the grandma was denying everything. Like, did not even want them to come in. Understandable, you know, they're Catholic and all that stuff, and are heavily religious. They want the exorcist and the priest to come and do some things or whatever, saying that the church will handle it, right? But at the same time, while DS is talking to the grandmama, Don over there talking to the son or the grandson, and he was telling her about the stuff and how he sees the guy at night, you know, and he be right there where she's standing at, literally at the window. And so they wind up leaving. They check up on him again because later that night it was a lot of people that came over there because they was finna perform another exorcism. And so she was up in the room with the grandma was up in the room with Lil Benito, and at that point he was talking, and next thing you know, boom, I said, oh my God, what happened? I thought something happened to the grandma. Girl, no. The boy started convulsing. The boy started having a seizure and all that stuff. I said, oh my God, what is going on? Help him. Help him. Baby, I'm thinking the thing is attacking him, or either the grandma is attacking him. Like, what is happening? Next thing you know, you see this man with the cross over him. Then they doing all. I said, what? What is going on? Did we just turn to the exorcism? Did y'all see the trailer for the new movie Exorcism? Baby, I'm going to see that. Chloe up in it. I said, look at Russell Crowe. Baby, I ain't seen you in a minute. Okay. I said, you look healthy, huh? We been eating. I know that's right. Girl, thinking of that, I lost 4 pounds. 4 pounds down, bitch. Okay. I'm doing it. But anyway, because I just weighed myself a little bit before. I was like, oh, felt so happy. Cause at one point it wasn't doing that. But no. So since the boy was seizing so much, you know, they came up in there, and Don was like, give him here. And her partner said, don't you want to call the cops? Like, call the ambulance or whatever? She was like, he ain't gonna make it till then. We need to get him to the hospital now. So they called me in and let them know that they was on the way. Baby, she put him in the back seat, and he was doing all that shit in the back seat. She was like, just hold on. Girl, by the time they get to the goddamn hospital, Lil Benito was dead. That boy was contorted in the back seat. Like, I said, and of course, they're trying to blame her. Baby, they wind up taking her badge. They wind up, you know, detaining her. And there was this one cop when she pulled up earlier in the show, trying to get into her parking space. It was a cop that was blocking it. She said, could you pull up? He said, I'm busy. She said, excuse me, can you pull up? And he wind up getting an attitude, and under his breath, but good enough, loud enough so she can hear, because I sure enough heard it, called her a black bitch. I said, oh my God. Why I bring that up? Because he was one of the cops that detained her. I said, oh, you just was reveling in that, huh? I said, all right. And you know, they had to put her in front of IA because of course they trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Did you kill that baby, or what's going on? Because you already went against protocol. You did not wait for your partner. You went on to, and you was doing something that you wasn't supposed to do. You didn't let the company know that you was investigating this or whatever. But at the same time, the main thing is you left without your partner. Okay. And so she's in front of the IA board or whatever. Girl, why is Saxe there? He the main dude, giving all the questions and stuff. I said, Saxe. That's why they killed you. I said, Saxe came. He being typecast. Because, baby, we seen you as a cop on Power and Ghost. And now you a cop still. But you, okay. Do what you got to do. And they was trying to pin her for this. And she was like, bitch, I ain't do this shit. She was like, put me on the wire. And I said, put her on the wire. What happened? Girl, what wound up happening is she was answering all the questions truthfully until, you know, because they had other people around her. Like her partner was talking to her. Was being interviewed. McKinney was being interviewed, and he wound up lying and saying that the bitch was, that she was stalking him and was obsessed with him and all of that stuff, and that she was angry and aggressive with him. I said, what you talking about? And she was like, no, that's not the truth, whatever. He was doing this and he was doing. Well, he's not on trial. Right? This is not about him. This is about you. I said, excuse me. So you just didn't want to hear nothing that she had to say? Absolutely not. And then I'm looking at the partner, Diaz. I'm looking at him sideways too. Like, you can't have your partner back and you know exactly what was going on. I said, sir, what's happening? Baby, before this, he was trying to tell her something, okay, about some things that he found out about the foster home, but she didn't really want to hear that at the time. And come to find out, one of the questions that she was asked when she was on that wire was, have you ever went to, did you know the foster mama, Patrice Mott, prior to this whole situation, seeing her on that crime scene? And she said no. Okay, baby, they said that's a lie. That I was looking at how the needle was working when she was telling the truth, and it was the same all the way through. But when it got to that question, that's a lie. I said, oh my God, wait a minute, what you talking about? She ain't never seen them big. She ain't never seen that lady. What's happening? Girl, come to find out, because earlier after she came home from being, accosted by McKinney and his people and being scared by them, mama had told her, girl, I gotta tell you the truth. The truth is, I ain't your mama. You adopted. Your daddy ain't your daddy. You adopted. That's just basically what it is. So she is pissed off. And I said, why are we getting mad? You brought up in a good, I get it, but put it down in the comments. If you were to find out that you were adopted and you did not know, and your life turned out to be really, really good, would you feel some type of way about that? Like, would you be upset? And the only thing that I probably would have been upset is she found out, because what the mama said was, you up here taking heart pills, medication for your heart because of what your daddy went through, and he had heart issues, and it was like hereditary or congenital and all that, and was like, come to find out, you really don't have that issue because he's not your biological father. I said, so she up here taking medicine that she don't need to be taking? What in the fuck is going on? Now I be mad at that, because now you messing with my body. Because at one point she was having anxiety attacks and all that stuff. I'm like, we got time for that, girl. So when they asked her that question about Patrice Mott, girl, she was like, I ain't never met that bitch. They said, yes, you did. And then they opened up her file and said, so you was a foster child for her from 1958 to 1961. I said, girl, what? She said, huh? Come again? And then here come Diaz when they was on the interview. I was trying to tell her, but, she didn't want to hear it. I said, Diaz, God damn it. And at one point, Diaz was talking to McKinney, and it was like they was in on it too, like trying to get her out of there or whatever, trying to paint her. Maybe he was just setting him up. I don't know. It was just really weird. I said, is it Uchiwali and one mic? Whose side are you on, Diaz? Okay. Like, she trying to get all this information on her foster brother, her biological brother, right? And then once we found out who he was, she wanted to see him and get an address for him or whatever, but she couldn't because he's no longer here. He was dead. And I was like, I was trying to tell you that. That's what Diaz just kept on saying. Well, I was trying to tell you that when we linked up at the coffee shop or whatever, but you ain't want to hear that shit, okay? Because you was out of it, bitch, okay? That's just what it was. I said you could have tried a little bit harder, And so at that moment, I said, oh my God, so he dead? Like, what happened? What happened was, I said, give me a little bit of background, okay? And so she was going through the motions. And this is where we stopped this story. And I said, because it was also another story that was going on. Now, remember, I said Luke James was up in this. Luke James was in here playing Edmund, okay? When we first seen him, he's sitting on a bench in the locker room or something, listening to this motivational tape and trying to get himself pumped up. And as soon as you see him, you could tell that something ain't all the way right. You can just tell it. I don't care how long this video gonna be. We just gonna lock it in this movie corner. We here, okay? And I was just like, whew. Now see, once I saw the preview, I figured that he was going to be a killer of some sort. But I didn't think it was going to end up the way it ended up. They had me fooled on that one, but I was kind of right? So he basically pumping himself up, and he works at a place that looked like what would be considered like Chuck E. Cheese now, okay? And he's like, the mascot is like this pig. So he put the thing on, and he pumping himself up, and he get out there, he perform a little bit of whatever, and his manager has a problem with that because he changed some things up, and he was like, well, the kids didn't have no problem with it. It was like, the kids don't matter. I said, what? You know, and at one point, he's also going on auditions, right? He wants to be an actor. And his home is full of, you know, him doing audition takes for movies and all that stuff, for TVs and all that, right? And so he go to this company that always do the audition phase for different things, and he said, I ain't gonna lie, this probably was one of the funniest the funniest scenes, right? It was funny besides the fact that, well, we gonna pause that for a second because Cal, her son, he was seeing the same thing as well. It's like as soon as she went into that house, whatever was in that house, she done brought it to her mama, she done brought it to her son. He was seeing it. When they found out about her allegedly doing killing that boy down in her car, baby, them kids was ruthless at school. They was picking on him, and then when they had the cop come in with the bear to talk about the drugs and stuff, that boy was hallucinating. That thing was telling him, you know, put your hands on the desk, put your hand on your nose, put your hands on the desk, put your hands on the nose, tap on the floor. And he tried to do it on the slide, and he was like, you know what you gotta do, tap on the fucking floor. Baby, when they had him get down on all fours in the middle of the class, and he just, I said, oh my God, I was so embarrassed. And then when he was out there doing the girl, after he cussed his mama out and said, all of this shit is your fault, bitch, you was never there. Okay, it was daddy that was here. You pushed him away. You pushed everybody away. Cause he was trying to understand why she was giving the grandmama so much fever. And it was like, because bitch, she ain't my mama. I said, girl, that is your mama, and get out your feelings a little bit. You don't need to do all that. She still bathed you. She still put a roof over your head. She gave you clothes and all of that stuff and fed you, and you came out very good. Okay, now I can see if she was a bad mama, but she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Cause you was doing a bit much, right? Girl. After he cussed out, he had a little drum major band performance. Girl, he was seeing the little thing. He was seeing something, and that thing was just made him just freak out, and he wound up seizing, and he was just going through the motions. At one point, the grandma was going through the shit too. Girl, the mama came up there to check on him. He was in that bed asleep, right? And then all of a sudden, when she was about to walk out, he said, Mom, mind you, he was laying down, knocked out. Now he up like a second later, like full away. It was like, Mom. And she was like, yes, baby, what's going on? It was like, did you like fucking him? I said, excuse me, what? I said, what? He said, did you like fucking him? Because she was seeing some other guy named Reggie. And it was just one of those situations for the past 2 years that was like, she was just using him for sex. It wasn't nothing serious. She wasn't ready for that. He wanted something serious, but that just wasn't her thing. But he said, did you like fucking him? And she was like, what? Did you like fucking Reggie? Was he good? Was the dick good? Was he better than daddy? I said, what? I said, girl, knock that little motherfucker out and wake his ass up, because that is not him talking. Okay? That is not him talking. You gotta wake your ass up, girl. I said, everybody is going through it. Meanwhile, you got Edmund over here, right? He going through the shit too. Okay? He going on a little audition, right? This is when I first started laughing up in this shit. I said, now bitch, is this supposed to be a horror show? Is this supposed to be a comedy? Because when he went for that audition for like Pookie the gang member, okay, baby, he was getting himself together. You know, he put his little do-rag on. He had his little tracksuit, his little velvet tracksuit on. And then all of a sudden he was like, break yourself, motherfucker. Okay? Come on, motherfucker. Alright? I don't want no dick, motherfucker. I said, excuse the fuck out of me. Baby, you got the white folks up in there just like, no. They trying to hold back the laughter, but they just put their head down. It was this black boy Donovan who was recording and doing the recording tapes for him. Baby, he was laughing his ass off, and I would have been him. Probably would have ended up the same way, but I would have been him just because I laughed in his face. Okay, I mean, he laughed in his face. But then it was this one woman that was out there who, like the receptionist or whatever, she basically was giving him encouragement and all of that stuff, right? And, you know, they wind up linking up. She wind up bringing her son to his job. The son was played by Candy Burris and Todd Tucker's son, Ace. I said, look at little Ace. All right. You know, and then they had a good time, right? And she was telling him, like, maybe the roles that you're going out for are just not the roles that you need, okay? Maybe you need to go out for different roles, okay? And she got him this, told him about this role for a slasher, and he was like, that's not the type of thing that I do. She was like, you just never know, you know what I'm saying? And it's something that you can just have your face covered and all that stuff. And so he's going through the motions at the house and trying to come up with this persona, right? And this is playing into his already unstable psyche, okay? Mentally, he is not stable. Mentally, he is so awkward and so socially unaware, and he's like so much in his head and about himself. And I'm just like, what the freak is going on? Something is going to happen where he's going to snap off on somebody. I'm thinking that, at first, I'm thinking when I saw this, as I'm looking at it, I'm like, I feel like it was two things going on at once. Like it was going to be two killers, like what is it? Supernatural killer and also a physical killer. But they was going to blame it on the physical killer, and he ain't had nothing to do with the other stuff. And it was like, I thought it was going to be something like that, but it really wasn't. And so, the part, y'all, when he went to that audition, when he finally found what he wanted to put on, and he put that makeup on his face, and he had he had that shit on his face, and he put the pantyhose. First of all, old girl came over to the crib, and, you know, they was having a good conversation or whatever. I said, nice crib for somebody that works at where he worked at. I said, what was the minimum wage? I said, that's a nice, and he had a lot of nice stuff in there. I said, okay. But the date was going well, and then he said, hold on a minute, let me come right back. I go to the bathroom. Baby, he come out with his shirt off, and he got a knife up in his hand, and he got this what is it? I think it was like a pantyhose stocking on his face and all this stuff, scaring her and all this or whatever, putting a knife to her, and she was like, you know, really, really scared. And then he started laughing. He was like, oh my God, like, I felt your fear. Like, he's trying to get into character, and he's trying to see if he can really play off being a slasher in a movie. I get that. But you don't go about it like this, and especially if this is somebody that you wanted to be in your life some way, somehow. And I said, girl, it's better off that you don't, because you probably would have been a victim, okay? And so she was like, you know what? I'm going to leave, okay? And so when he came up there, dressed up the way that he was dressed up, I felt secondhand embarrassment for him. I felt second hand, third hand, fourth hand, all the way to the 10th, bitch. I said, oh my goodness. I was sitting here looking through my fingers like, I cannot believe he is really doing this. Look at this fool. Oh my goodness. Mind you, everybody else is just sitting there like, what the fuck? And then when they found out that he was out there, girl, they told him, you can't come up in here and you can't audition. And was like, you said that I could do this, and you said this, and attacking old girl. I said, what? And then he come outside and he just have a little breakdown. He's screaming and everything. I said, give Luke a freaking Emmy just for him screaming the way that he was doing. Them emotions. I said, Luke, is you okay? Is you okay after doing this? Because this was a lot. It felt heavy on him. Okay. But Edmund, at that moment, you know, things just started going to shit, right? Next thing you know, we see him go over to I think it was like episode 4, I believe. Probably, whatever. It don't matter. He winds up going to his daddy house. I said, you got a daddy? I said, you got a daddy? I mean, we all got daddies. I just didn't know that he knew it. You know, like, you got family for real? Girl, I mean, barely. Barely, bitch. Girl, he went over there, and it was in this different part, like, lush. Okay, rich, And we see this poster of this man, this white man. He's supposed to be like a motivational speaker and all this stuff. And he got book signing and all this stuff that was going on. Like his book was out there and all that stuff, right? And it's like a whole bunch of white people there. They having a little gathering and shit outside on the pool in the courtyard and everything. And all these white people there. And then you got this black man come up in there who was admin. And I was like, he was like, hey, Dad. And I said, your daddy is the motivational speaker? The dude that he's been listening to. And he turned around and he was looking at him like, what the fuck is this nigga doing here? Literally. Okay? Literally. That's how he was looking at him like, what the fuck? Okay? I said, what is the backstory? Baby, come to find out, he was just like, I was listening to your stuff and, you know, all of the things that I felt like you was talking to me on your tapes and in your book, because I'm going through some of the stuff that you're saying right now. And, you know, I just need to come and talk to you. And it was like, you know, come on, son, let me, let's go to the side and talk. He was like, no. Okay. Before he could even give an answer, the wife comes over and she's the only other black person that's there is this baby that I ain't even gonna call him a baby. He probably was a good, like, could be 2 years old, could be 3 or whatever. She was holding him. She was holding him 2. I say 2 at the most. Girl, I said, so you're one of those white, the rich whites that go adopt black kids? That's what he was, right? And I said, because at first I was like, is the mama mixed? No, the mama is white. I said, oh, so he adopted. And he was like, hey, Mom. She was like, Edmund, what are you doing here? I said, oh, chilly reception from both parents. What did you do? And was like, I want to talk to Dad. And was like, well, y'all can go over there and talk. No, I'm going to talk now. Because the last memory of me and you, it's just like how you dropped me off. And I was thinking that on my 12th birthday, we was going to go to Cheddar's and you dropped me off at that group home. He was like, nigga, let's go over here. Okay, baby. And he was like, is that Lacey? Their sister. Their biological daughter. And mind you, she had this look of fear when she saw him. I said, what's going on? Everybody's scared of this little boy, this man. Baby, come to find out, you know, I said, y'all dropped his ass off on his birthday? Happy 12th birthday, son. Drive off. He's there. That's what it felt like. I said, what? What is going on? Girl, they said, because he said, all I want to know is why you dropped me off and you never picked me back up. It was like, bitch, you was a problem child. He was junior, girl. That's just what it was. They couldn't handle him. Okay, they were scared of his ass, and he was just doing too much. He was doing too much, and they just couldn't control his ass. And so, you know, it is what it is. And they ain't got no more connection to him. And he said, get the fuck out, okay? And he just felt abandoned at that point. I said, you should have known. You should have known. You should have known if somebody dropped you off back at the group home. Obviously, they didn't have no good experience. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, he's not socially aware. Okay, like something is not right up in his head, right? He's not mentally stable. There it is, okay? And honestly, he could have been bipolar. He could have been schizophrenic. He could have been anything, you know what I'm saying? And just left undiagnosed. But, girl, he left. That pissed him off. He wound up going to the prostitute district, picking up a prostitute. He ain't never did this before. Girl, he asking her, what did you do up in your life to end up in this way? I know your parents didn't raise you to be this way. I said, I know we're not going to do no lesson. Girl, he was about to kill that bitch. And he was throwing money at her and everything. I said, where you get that money from? Baby, the cops came and picked them up. Okay, cops just so happened to be right there. Saved by the cops, girl. And so when they had him in the office or whatever, in the interrogation room, they thinking that he the Southside killer or whatever, because it was a whole bunch of like prostitute that was coming up missing and dead and all that stuff, and they was thinking that he did it. Girl, he started talking about, you know, if you gonna accuse me of killing somebody and I didn't do it, I'm not finna sit there and be proud about it and start reciting some lines that's gonna make it seem like I'm doing it and I did it. That's exactly what he did. They looking at him like, oh my God. And he was looking in the camera. It was like he broke the fourth wall and he looking in the camera at us, reciting lines and stuff. I said, this motherfucker's ill. Okay? This motherfucker is ill. Do I see this and do you see this? Yeah, girl, we see it. I said, oh, okay, I just want to make sure it just ain't me. Girl, they was up there looking at the tapes and stuff that was up in his car, and it was audition tapes. And they saw exactly the same tape that he was saying. They was like, he didn't do it. It was just some lines that he was reciting from the auditions. And oh boy, one of the detectives got so pissed off, was like, well, if you knew it, you wasted our time. I said, child. He was like, he's a nobody. And when they said that, he flipped out again and started screaming up in there. I said, At this moment, that's when his, you could just see it building. And at one point, he was calling somebody, DCFS or whatever, trying to, get some information on his sister. He couldn't find the information for his sister, right? And I said, oh, well, you got a sister? And it was like they was tired of him calling. And they said, we'll call you back, okay? But, this is before he just winds up just going and kidnapping Donovan, the camera guy who was laughing at the audition thing. And this is after he broke into his house, okay? He broke into his apartment, went through his shit, found some videotapes of him when he was younger at a birthday party, his 6th birthday party and all that stuff, right? He went into his bathroom. This is the part that really stuck with me. He went into his bathroom and he took a shit. And when I say he took a shit in that toilet. The only reason why I'm bringing this up is because they made sure to show us that he took a shit. Like, he sat on the toilet. They put the camera. He was looking at in the toilet. He smiled at the shit that was in the toilet. And that was a big ass load that came out his ass. Ain't there tissue up in the toilet. So you gonna kill somebody with a shitty booty? I said, you ain't gonna wipe your ass. Did you wipe and throw it in the garbage can? Cause I don't see no tissue up in that toilet. Like, as soon as he finished, he got up and he pulled them pants up. I said, I didn't see you reach back and. All right, baby. He had Donovan up at his old job. I think I don't know where it was. Either way, he had Donovan recite and act out him being at that 6th birthday party that he had already had memorized. Okay. Oh, girl, it's about to be a little cringe. Donovan was sitting in a chair and he was trying to tell him to let him go. And at first, I thought he was about to let him go. Girl, do you know when he took his hand, I was like, oh, he finna let him go. I said, in the back of my mind, I'm like, you can't let him go because he already know that you did it. It's you, and he's gonna go to the cops and you're gonna get arrested, right? Girl, he took that hand and it wasn't even on the arm. See, this part of the hand, right, was on the edge of the arm. See, so it's hanging out like there was a wooden chair. He wound up going down on the arm like that and broke it. All you heard was a crack. I said, oh my goodness. And at one point, Donovan had got up out that chair. Well, he ain't get up out the chair. The chair tilted and he was trying to fight him and get away. And he done kicked him to the back. Bitch, he grabbed that leg and he cracked it to the side. Because he was laying on his stomach. So his legs is to the back like that. So when he bend the knees, naturally, it goes to the back. But it went to the back and he twisted to the side to break it. I said, oh my God. And when he took him to bury him in the desert, the way that he had him crawling on that floor, that leg was still over there to the side like this. I said, God damn, after he threw him in the trunk. And I said, now that's a shallow ass grave that you put him in. I said, you can't even do that shit right. Bitch, he was like, just let me live. Just let me live. And I said, well, that ain't gonna happen. And he wound up fucking him up with that shovel. And then didn't even put the dirt back on top of him. Just went home. Girl, I said, what the fuck is going on? What the hell is going on? So this whole time, we trying to see what the connection is. I said, what do he got to do with this, right? Baby, he is sitting there having hallucinations with this Raggedy Andy doll, right? The doll is talking to him. Now I gotta look up. Because the grandma got fired from her place of work because she didn't want to put that thing out there. Because she was like, listen, I don't want to put these Raggedy Ann dolls out there, whatever, because, my people, black folks, we don't want that. That's racist and all that stuff, whatever. I said, that's racist. Raggedy Ann is racist. I didn't know that. And so I said, is that real? I gotta look that up. I ain't finna look it up right now, but somebody can tell me. I said, what? Or was she just saying that because of what we found out later, right? This boy is in there, or this man is sitting in his house going crazy. And we see all these red strings and everything. And I said, the man with the red hair, what the fuck is Edmund dressed up as Raggedy Andy and a serial killer with no face and a monster with no face? I said, oh my goodness, are you serious? Now before this, after he do the thing with Donovan, the time go back to 1989, and this is no, it says when he gets home from doing what he did with Donovan, he gets a phone call because he's freaking out because he never did this before. That was his first kill, first and only kill, right? In this world. He gets a phone call from DCFS, Child Protective Services, and all that stuff, saying that we found your sister and the information that you needed that you was asking for. Then it comes up 1989. I said, oh, okay. And we see him pulling up in the car. He's dressed fresh and nice. And we see this house. And I said, I know that ain't what I think it is. Is that the same fucking house? Is that the same fucking house? Bitch. He Dawn's brother. And not only was he her brother, twin brother. First of all, what pissed me off about this scene was Iman, the daddy, mind you, they was married at that time. This was before they got divorced, right? Dude knocked on the door, and he opened up the door, and he was like, "Hey, so you the new neighbor or whatever? Like down at the Reynolds home? You took the Reynolds home?" And he was like, "I mean, sure, yeah," because he had like a little pastry box or whatever, like that he was given. It was like, I just want to drop this off, or whatever. He was like, "You want to come in?" It's 1989. You're black. I said black people be letting people up in their house like that they don't know. I had questions. And so he's introducing him to everybody, to Kyle, to Don. And, he finds out that Don has, first of all, he lied and said that he had twins. A boy and a girl. I'm like, what? And then he finds out that Don is a cop. But then she sees something going on, and then the son had went back there and saw the cake, and the cake said, he said, whose birthday is it? Because the cake said happy birthday, but then he had scribbled on that belated birthday. And so Don was like, who the fuck are you? Don said, turn your ass around and let me pat your ass down. What are you doing here? What you say you was here for? And he wasn't lying about his name. And so at that moment, like, we found out that they're brother and sister. And yet she don't know. And she didn't know or whatever. Kicked him out and all that stuff. She told him, if I ever see you on this block, I don't want to see you on this block. I don't want to see you ever again. Like, don't come around here, because it's going to be some problems. And after that, shit just went haywire. Like, I guess that was when he recorded a tape that said after, being rejected by her and coming out of her house, baby, he said, I just kept on seeing blood. I said, what? Girl, he lost it. And he was talking to his Raggedy Ann self, his yin and yang, his good and bad, good conscience, bad conscience. Baby, the cops was coming to beat down that door and get his ass. And he wound up taking his own life. I said, what the fuck? I said, now what the fuck this got to do with everything else? I know some people wondering, right? If you ain't seen it, if you haven't. Baby, come to find out, the reason why... So he's Don's twin brother. And her mother, Athena, the adopted mama, Pran Grier, she winds up telling her the story, their backstory. It's one of those situations where she has repressed memories that she did not know about. And it's like you had trauma in your life and you just blocked it out. So she was at Patrice Mott's foster home for 3 years, her and her brother, right, for a couple of years, 58, 59, 60, 61, 4 years, right? And so, she used to be abusive to them, and the mama came and adopted both of them. The mom and daddy came and adopted both of them. But just like he was a handful with the white family, he was a handful with her too, because he never wanted to leave Don's side. He had that Raggedy Andy doll. She didn't want him to have it. She threw it away. He wound up still getting it back or whatever. At one point, now this is where things broke for her, because of course he was a problem child, and again they probably just need to get him some therapy. They needed to take him to the doctor or whatever and see what was going on. But then again, this is back in the 60s. Okay, nobody, I don't think, was really thinking about that as much, but at the same time, they had left. She left with the daughter. They come home and the father is on the floor. The father is on the floor. He's dead because he had a heart issue. I think he had a heart attack on the floor. And the son is just sitting there, Edmund, just sitting there playing with his pills. I said, what the fuck? I was like, what? So you trying to say that the boy kind of killed him? That's what it was trying to imply, like he wouldn't give him the pills and all that stuff. And so she was like, listen, I'm finna be a single mama. He a handful. I couldn't give you up, but I could give his ass up. And so he wound up, I think, going back to Bertrice, Miss Mott, right? And I was like, oh, and so he endured what he endured there all over again. And so, girl, when we found out, when Cal was going through what he was going through, and that thing was chasing him and making him do all that stuff at the marching band thing, it was that motherfucker dressed as the Raggedy Ann. I said, what? With the red hair. And I said, oh my God, this is what everybody been seeing. Him, right? Like his supernatural spirit. And then at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, if the connection is with that family, why is he attacking other people? Okay, I can understand Bertrice. She was a bad mama, bad foster mama, right? But why Marvin, the drug dealer? Why the twin girls? Why the boy Benito, right? What was up with that? What is the connection? I just didn't get it at that time, right? So as they trying to figure out, we get what's her name? Dawn and Detective Diaz trying to figure some things out. She winds up making the connection when she finds out about Edmund and him being dead. She was like, oh my God, he's doing all of this. I would have been just like Diaz, like, what? What are you trying to say? That motherfucker is dead. Diaz said, oh shit. What are you trying to get at? It was like the connection is, since she found out that that's his twin, she's his twin. So of course he's coming back because Bertrice basically was fucking him up. She was a bad mama. So he got to get revenge on her. And the way that they found her in that underneath the sink is where he used to take her to hide from Bertrice, right? The foster mama. I was like, oh, okay. So he was her protector. He was not that bad of a guy. It's just once he separated from his sister, everything just went to shit, for real. They just wanted somebody to love him and understand him, and he just wasn't understood. And of course, he still had some mental issues, okay? But at the same time, I was like, all right, I understand that one. And then they said, well, with Marvin, he had a child. He was protecting that child. He did whatever he had to do to protect that child. And I said, I guess, but still, why would you kill Marvin of all people? I still didn't understand that connection. But then the twin girls, it's because he's a twin. And the twin girls were twins, and they were really, really close, just like he used to be with his sister. I was like, well, you couldn't get twin adults? Why you got to get out? See, this is the problem where I had with the movie, with the series right there. These are the little issues, and I was just like, this way it kind of got a little corny, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I'll let it slide, whatever. So then, I said, okay, but what about Benito? Benito is the same, just like them, in the sense that he came from Mexico with his other brother. The brother was getting into trouble, so the grandmama sent him back to Mexico, just like the Edmund and Don. He was getting into it. So he became a handful. So Athena, the adopted mother, wound up taking him back to Patrice. And that's where, some shit was going down, right? I said, okay, well, still, I can understand that, but these people ain't had nothing to do with you, admin. Okay, like, they didn't hurt you. These kids didn't hurt you. Their parents didn't hurt you. The only one that should have really died was Patrice. If you ask me, maybe a little bit of Athena since you pissed off that she took you back. Bitch, let's talk about that. Girl, she get a phone call because, again, Miss Gurley that she worked with fires her ass because she was like, bitch, if you can't follow the rules and you try to tell me what to do because this is my shop, you're fired. And you ain't been up to code and doing your shit like you supposed to anyway. You been a little bit sloppy, okay? She was like, fuck you, bitch. All right. She get a phone call, and it was the lady from, she thought it was her boss, and was like, I'm sorry for firing you. Can you come down to the shop or whatever? And she was like, it's late at night, bitch. What you talking about? And then that voice come in, come down to the shop if you want your daughter to live. I said, what? I said, Athena, don't go. She said, I got to make that sacrifice. I do. Baby, she came down there. Edmund little spirit came through. She was like, Edmund, you got to stop this. You got to stop this. Girl, he started fucking her up. I said, you can't be doing that. That is an old lady. And I said, Foxy Brown, Coffee, get your ass up and walk off his ass. Girl, hell no. After he beat her ass a little bit, well, he was slinging her around like a rag dog, okay? But she wound up getting up, and right behind her was this, like a paper cutter. Next thing you know, we see her body come walking and waddling through, and then it falls to the floor, headless. I said, what the fuck? Girl. Next thing you know, mama dead. Don get a phone call. They rushing down there to the shop. Baby, she looked through the window. She didn't even go inside. She looked through the window, and right in the middle of the aisle, why is Athena head just sitting on the floor like this? I said, bitch, that's fucked up. Girl, mama mind up passing out in the street. Okay, and then they was trying to blame McKinney was trying to blame her for everything, talking to Diaz and trying to blame her for everything, right? Next thing you know, the son came, not the son, but her baby daddy came back over there, and because the cow was saying all this stuff, and he told her what he was saying. He told the daddy what he was saying, and at one point when the daddy was trying to comfort him on the couch, he looked into the mirror, and instead of seeing Cal, he saw himself. I mean, he saw Raggedy Ann, the dude, right? And he was like, what the fuck? Mind you, earlier, at one point, that episode when they were talking about when he was smoking weed under the bleachers with the girl, right? He had came home and he was asleep. And he started hearing some stuff like the TV. And what we saw was the TV keep on rewinding the Rodney King beating, right? And so he goes downstairs and he's seeing his mama laying on the couch, but she's looking at the TV with the smile on her face like this. And it was so creepy, but she wasn't moving. And the tape was just rewinding and rewinding and playing, rewinding and playing. But then he looked away and he turns back around and she's not there, right? So he hallucinated that. But the TV is playing and rewinded back on his own. He tried to stop it and it wouldn't go. At one point he wound up unplugging it, right? And then he look into the TV and he sees somebody standing in the back. He turns around, he don't see nobody. But then he looked back into the TV and his face is all distorted. Okay, I said, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? And so you got that going on. Now I said keep that in mind about the fact when he was sitting on the with his daddy and the daddy saw him, saw the Raggedy Ann dude, right? So you get that going, and dude wound up taking her son, and it was like, you gotta come home, you gotta come home. So because she don't remember stuff, he tries to give her basically a little history lesson. They was kids, he was her protector. Patrice, the boss mama, used to fuck their ass up. Baby, they had to run away from her, hide underneath the sink, and if they got in trouble when they went into the house, when she went into that closet, and she was like, it was something that was square that was in the closet that they didn't know of. It basically was a box that she would lock. Because he was like, even on that audition tape or whatever, one of those tapes, he said, you don't remember? You don't remember? How come I have to remember all of this stuff? But yeah, you out here living like you don't know what went down, and you got your family, and you got a job, and all of this stuff. I said, oh. And basically, he was helping her out. That baby, you had to breathe in the hole through a straw. She couldn't breathe up in them. But I said, that is... foster care ain't nothing to fucking play with. Like, kids really ain't safe these days. Like, for real. I just, that just made me mad. I was getting so pissed off when I seen that part, right? And I got pissed off with the aunt. Well, not the aunt, but her mama, because when she said that she took the son away, and how she used to keep on crying for her brother, and she was trying to tell her, your brother wasn't real. He was your imaginary friend. Because earlier in that first episode, when she went to talk to the teenage boy's sister in the foster care, she was talking about how she had an imaginary friend. And come to find out, the imaginary friend wasn't really just an imaginary friend. It was really her brother. So now her memory, they just basically made her forget a lot of stuff. And so everything was coming back to her. And you see him pop up, and she's trying to tell him, listen, you ain't got to do this. Because he was about to say, come home, bitch. You about to be with me, too. You supposed to be with me. But then we see her. It's like it was giving us. Because it was like her tether, his tether, her tether. Like, her bad person. But I'm like, damn, you finna get fucked up by yourself? No, her other self came in to fuck him up a little bit. That's how I looked at it. Because she was saying the words that needed to be said, right? About how, you know, what he never heard. I love you. Okay? You was my protector. You not this person that they trying to make you out to be. And then as soon as she started saying those words, baby, his body started cracking. I said, oh my God, it's a spirit and it's cracking up. Baby had him contorted in the corner. Okay? And then we see him, as soon as she said, I love you, we see him come back into his human form. Who he was, instead of looking like the monster that's been out here, the supernatural monster that been, you know, fucking everybody up, right? And when that happened, you know, his face contorted and he comes back to normal and everything's all to the good, right? But prior to that, when she went over to the Diaz house to get this information from him, right? McKinney popped up trying to shoot her ass and wind up talking about, so this what we get for this, we should never hire y'all, because y'all, as soon as you hire them, you get a little bit of power and thinking that you know everything and you could do everything. I said, oh my God, just tell me that you're racist right in front of minorities, okay? A Latino and a black woman, right? Well, I said, you not even gonna try to hide it. Baby was about to shoot her. Diaz trying to tell him to stop. He wound up shooting Diaz in the shoulder. She wound up killing that motherfucker, okay? And this comes into play because we wind up getting another hearing, and she had recorded the whole interaction between McKinney, Diaz, and her. And it sounded, the way that it was recorded, we know, she know, the audience know, the person that was doing all of this was her dead brother, right? And so that they already thought that she probably was crazy. And so that it won't look like that, the way that it sounded on the tape, it really made it seem as if McKinney was the one that was doing all of this. Because he did wind up saying, you saw exactly what I did to Marvin, right? Marvin was one of the victims that they was trying to blame her for, right? Because she was at all those scenes, okay? And so Saxon and them had to eat their words and was like, her boss gonna say, well, you know, the killing was justified and all that stuff, and your partner, you know, stuck by you and everything, but, you know, with everything that was going on, because this whole thing about her supposedly killing the kid and all that stuff, it made the news and everything. They was calling her baby killer and all that stuff, right? It was like, well, we can't give you your job back in the position that you was, but once this shit died down a little bit, we can give you like a desk job or something. Bitch, she stood there and she was like, and she walked out. The next thing you know, you hear NWA's Fuck the Police and it was her son playing it. I said, girl, what? So basically, they finna put all the murders on McKinney, and McKinney is dead. And so now she was like, while you was up here questioning me and doing all this stuff, you could have been listening to me and tell, I was telling you that McKinney is, trying to do like that. But then it goes to 6 months ahead, right? 6 months later, you see that Cal and, the daddy and her, like, they're working out their relationship. And she winds up going upstairs and she finds a photo of her and her brother when they was younger and together. And then it was another photo behind it of her actual family, where they came from. Her grandparents, her aunt, and her mother. Now see, this is how we tie in season 1 to season 2. Because then, and you remember in season 1, that tap dance blackface dude that just kept on coming down? He was coming up the steps in season 2 at the end, when she found that picture of her family, right? Her full family. And he comes into the room and he's, what you gonna do now? And he's laughing and all this shit. So what we find out is, and when she was going down memory lane or whatever, when she was over there in Patrice's house, when Emmett was, going through it or whatever, we see that her mother is the oldest daughter to the family that was in season 1. Remember when she went through the shit that she went through, when she tried to turn herself white with the white paint and all of that stuff? So she had got pregnant. The daddy wasn't there. He just left and talking about her baby daddy. So she was just like, I'm not going to be able to take care of these kids. She had twins, so she was like, I'm not going to be able to take care of them and all that. And so she dropped them off to Bertrice, right? Beatrice. Why I call her Bertrice? Beatrice, right? I was like, oh my God. And then we see the picture, and then you see the tap dance man. I said, what the fuck? Now here's my thing, and then it goes out. So we get that her grandparents are the family, the couple from the first season. Her mama is their oldest daughter, right? Where is the youngest daughter? Is the mama still around? We need to know that, right? Because it is 1991 at this point. All of that happened like in the early 60s? No, 50s. The late 50s. Because they said that she was at the nursing at the home from 58 to 61. Okay. So you got that right. My thing of it is it going to be a season 3? I need a season 3. And the only reason why I say that, because the way that Kyle and his father was sitting on that couch, and the father saw Edmund and Kyle as he was dressed up in the Raggedy Ann shit, the monster, it's like, did he just transfer into him? Because remember, he took him and she had to go to the house and get him. Found him in the closet and everything, right? So my thing is, how is season 3 gonna go and connect season 2 to season 3? I need a season 3. I want a season 3. Season 2 was so much better than season 1 for me, because it was exciting. It was scary a little bit, but it wasn't as heavy as season 1. Like, it was racial. It was racial, of course, but it wasn't so deep on it, but you know what it was about. As with season 1 was just a lot. Season 1 was just a lot. But if you have saw it, what's your theories on it? Do you feel like they're going to try to connect the son, do it through her son next season, if they bring it back for next season? I need a next season. And then also, why is it that the girl that's playing Dawn, she played the mama in season 1? She played her grandmother in season 1. She played the mama in season 1. And now, like, that's weird. That's weird. Now, is there going to be some connection to that? I need some answers. I need a second season. Lil Marvin, y'all did y'all thing on this, or I should say a third season. Y'all did y'all thing on this one, okay? Now, I doubted you. I had a little doubts about the first one. But this second one, and the way that y'all tied it into the first one, y'all did that. Y'all did that, okay? I was like, oh my God, bitch. You know, I love it when I find a series that I can actually sit through and watch it. Because usually when I have to watch these series, I have to be at school. I mean, at school, at work, right? And watch it all the way through. Because then I'm doing other things. I ain't really got to pay too much attention. Bitch, I was at home sitting here just like this. Girl, what? But yes, you guys, y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. If you watched it, if you have not watched it, I suggest you watch it. It's a good watch, and it's a quick watch too. It's 8 episodes. I feel like maybe the first 3 episodes are probably like 40, a little bit over 40 minutes or whatever, and then like the next 4 episodes after that are like 30 minutes, and then the last episode is like 41 minutes or something like that. But yeah, it go back quick because it's that good. But you guys tell me how you feel, and I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I will see y'all later. Peace.